بالهادي النبي محمد الله هب لي شفاعته بيوم جزائي.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وخاتم النبيين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وحبيب إله العالمين العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد أبي القاسم محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا، واللعنة على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك فلما رآه مستقرا عنده قال هذا من فضل ربي ليبلوني أأشكر أم أكفر ومن شكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه ومن كفر فإن ربي غني كريم. صدق الله العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, the gracious, the most merciful, may the peace and the blessings of the Almighty Allah be with and amongst all the prophets and messengers, including the last and the beloved, Muhammad, and his honorable and dignified and purified progeny. Respected brothers and sisters, viewers, wherever you are, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back to another episode of your program right here on Hadi TV, a closer look into the glorious book where we have been examining the life of different prophets, and currently the life of the Prophet Sulaiman, may the peace and the blessings of the Almighty Allah be with him. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the honor and the privilege to follow the footsteps of those prophets and to become the followers of their exemplary role models. We spoke of the story of Sulaiman in Surah An-Nahl, chapter 27 of the Holy Qur'an in details. We spoke, if you remember, about this story of the arrival of the army of Sulaiman to the valley of ants, to the valley of An-Naml, Wadi An-Naml. And there in the valley of ants, Sulaiman had a conversation with one of the ants. Then Sulaiman wanted to leave from that area, the valley of the ants, or a valley which was full of ants, to continue his journey towards the Arabian Peninsula where he wanted to perform Hajj. When he moved, he found that one of the birds in his army is missing. Therefore he asked where the bird was, and the bird gave an answer that he had gone to investigate about the kingdom of Sheba. So he came back and he said that it was a lady that was their queen and she ruled them, and that they don't worship Allah, they worship the sun. Sulaiman wrote a letter for this lady, wrote a letter for Bilqis, the queen of Sheba. And he called her to enter the religion of Islam and to submit to his will. The queen of Sheba sent him a gift. Sulaiman rejected the gift, and we gave the exact reasoning why and the logic behind why Sulaiman rejected the gift and why she sent the gift. When the gift returned, they told her that you could not stand against Sulaiman. So she used the route of peace to save herself, to save her kingdom. And she said, I will, alongside my entire government, go towards Sulaiman. When Sulaiman found out that the queen is coming towards him, he decided that he was going to catch her by a surprise. He was going to play a show for her. And he was going to surprise her in a way that she'll know she needs to submit to him. What was the way? That queen was known for her throne. She had the most beautiful of thrones in that specific time, or maybe in the world. Sulaiman said, who will bring me the throne before she arrives? قال عفريت من الجن. One of them was jinn. The jinn said, before you get up from your seat, I'll bring it to you. But another one that had the knowledge of the book said, I'll bring it to you before you blink an eye. And that was Asif ibn Barkhia, the inheritor of the knowledge of Sulaiman, the successor of Sulaiman, and a person that had the knowledge of the book. The ulama have stated that he was able to bring the throne by using Ismullah al-A'zam, Allah's greatest name. What is Allah's greatest name? Allah has many names. He has the 99 names that you know. And He has His name Allah, which is Ismul A'zam or Ismul Akram. Allah is the container of all the other names. But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has Ismullah al-A'zam, that is even above Allah. A name that is only given to prophets and the successor of prophets. And it does miracles. Some people think that Ismullah al-A'zam is something you only say. For example, it's like Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You say it and the miracle takes place. No. The scholars have stated that Ismullah al-A'zam is, it's true that it's a statement, but it has to come with action as well. Meaning, some people may say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and be able to walk on water. Sometimes you could say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and cure the ill. And sometimes you could say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and it doesn't mean anything. Therefore, a person that has Ismullah al-A'zam and wants it to have effect is a person that treasures this Ismullah al-A'zam, knows how to take care of it and has the ability to take care of it. I'll give you a story before we move on about an individual that had Ismullah al-A'zam. One of our greatest of scholars writes in his memoirs that I went and I studied in Najaf for nearly 50 years. And he would go to Amir al-Mu'mineen, his mausoleum every day, and he would ask the Mawla. He would say to him, Ya Sayyidi, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, give me some of Ismullah al-A'zam. Ismullah al-A'zam is 73 letters. Give me one letter, half a letter. I swear I will use it in order to propagate religion, in order to save people's lives. I will never be selfish. I will never be foolish. He said, I did that for an entire week and nothing happened. Every single day I would ask for only one thing. He said, I did that for another month. Didn't work. He said, I did that for another year. Didn't work. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. He said every day for a decade, for 10 years, I would go and ask Allah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, give me the one letter of Ismullah al-A'zam. I will use it in the best of ways. I will never be selfish with Ismullah al-A'zam. I will be responsible. The 10 years became 20 years, and 30 years, and 40 years, and on the 50th year, where he was a very old man and he had wrote a book, a very famous book. He said, I wrote the book, I had the book with me, and I was going towards Baghdad, the capital, to give it so that the book would be printed. He said, I sat in a carriage. Next to me was a man. You could feel the presence, you could feel the honor, you could feel the aura around this man. He said we were in the carriage and in the middle of the way we went through a bridge. The bridge collapsed and this man fell. This man fell. in the water. I also fell with him, and my book fell. He said, I saved myself. I got up. Then I saw a scene. My book that ultimately will save many people, will guide many people. I worked on this book for 50 years worth of knowledge, going and being destroyed. And I saw this man also being destroyed. He's drowning. He does not know how to swim. So between me and Allah, decided that I'm going to save my book, because ultimately my book will save many lives. Ultimately my book will inspire many people. I saved my book. The man drowned. I left. He said, that night I slept and I saw Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali, in my dream. He came to me and he said, Shaykh, that man that drowned next to you had Ismullah al-A'zam. He said, it was that time when I realized that is the meaning of not being selfish. To not even use it for any purpose that serves you. Naturally, you're drowning, you're about to die, that's your fate, you're gone. He said, I would not have been able to protect Ismullah al-A'zam like that. Therefore, Asif ibn Barkhia was a great man. If you go to Kitab Usul al-Kafi, written by al-Shaykh al-Kunayni, rahimahullah, there he brings about narrations from Ahlulbayt, salamullahi alayhim, that Ismullah al-A'zam is 73 letters. Asif ibn Barkhia had 1. They have 72 letters. Imagine, Ali ibn Abi Talib has 72 letters of Ismullah al-A'zam. And 1 letter remains with Allah, which is the time of the Day of Judgment, which only remains with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us know the value of Ahlul Bayt, for they are Adlul Qur'an, right next to the Qur'an. Let us not say that this is too much about them. This is said too much about them. We exaggerate about them. Let us go and learn. Let us go and investigate. Let us go and read about the ilm of Ahlul Bayt, the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt. And inshallah, Allah will guide all of us towards the truth. Now let us go back to the Holy Quran, chapter 27, Surah An-Naml, the ant, and recite together. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. I'll bring it to you before you blink your eyes. Sulaiman allowed him before a blink of an eye. فَلَمَّا رَآهُ مُسْتَقِرًّا عِنْدَهُ. He saw the throne right in front of him. Stable, very neatly in front of him. قَالَ هَذَا مِنْ فَضْلِ رَبِّي. He said, for me to have people around me like this, for me to have a student like this, a successor like this is part of the grace of the Almighty upon me. لِيَبْلُوَنِي. But Allah is testing me. And I said in the beginning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. We are constantly tested. We are tested on daily basis. We cannot escape that test. قال هذا من فضل ربي. But what is it? Allah is testing me here. Allah gave me this, and it's a test. I should not fall in the trap of the shaitan. أَأَشْكُرْ أَمْ أَكْفُرْ. Am I going to be part of the thankful ones, or I'm going to go do kufr and reject this bounty that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me? Then he gives a general law. وَمَنْ شَكَرَ فَإِنَّمَا يَشْكُرُ لِنَفْسِهِ. Whoever thanks Allah, Allah is not in need of our thanks. Allah is not in need of our gratitude. Allah is not in need of our prayer. We need it for ourselves. وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَإِنَّ رَبِّي غَنِيٌّ كَرِيمٌ. And whoever rejects Allah and does not thank Allah, Allah doesn't need our thank. We need Allah. We need to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states إن أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها. If you do any good deed, it is for you. You'll enjoy it. If you do any bad deed, it will reflect upon you and it will hurt you. If I've done accumulated bad deeds on the Day of Judgment, who will help me? If I've done good, I've done good for myself. Allah will give me the reward in the dunya and in the akhirah. Allah is not in need of me. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not in need of me thanking Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likewise in the same way tested Ibrahim. We haven't discussed the story of Ibrahim. But I'll give you this story in parentheses, that Ibrahim was also tested. One day, he had gone out. Ibrahim was a shepherd. He had taken 2,000 of his sheep. He saw there a man calling upon Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Ibrahim came to him. He said, man, you've come all the way in the desert. I can know that you're here strictly for Allah. Or else why would you come here? No one is hearing you. You're doing this completely for Allah. I love this from you. I'll give you half of my sheep, 1,000. He thought the man would leave. The man didn't leave. He's still saying, Ya Allah, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. Ibrahim said, okay, I'll give you another 500. The man kept saying, Ya Allah. He said, I'll give you another 250. I'll make the story short. Until he was left with one sheep, he gave it to the man. He says to him, why don't you leave? You're saying Ya Allah. He says, I'm not asking you, Ibrahim. I'm asking Allah. Allah has more than 2,000 sheep. Ibrahim gave him everything that he had. At that time, the man changed into the physical appearance of the angel Jibreel, and he told him, Ibrahim, know that you have passed the test of Allah. Allah never takes away from you. Allah just tests you, whether you give or you don't. Brothers, don't fail this test. The best tests from Allah are the ones with difficulty, because there we realize we're being tested. But the hardest ones is when we're in ease. Money comes more money comes, more money comes, more popularity comes, more position comes, everything comes and falls right in place. We're comfortable and we seem to forget Allah. We seem to forget the poor. We seem to forget our responsibilities. We seem to forget that there is something that we need to contribute back to society. Let us not fail those tests. We are tested on every day, every single day. We're tested. And may Allah help us to pass those tests. May Allah assist us not to fail those tests. We ask Allah in the name of the Holy Qur'an, Allahumma arina al-haqqa haqqan fanattabi'ah wal-batila batilan fanajtanibah. Allahumma irzuqna husna al-ta'ah wa jannibna al-ma'siyah. Oh Allah, give us the honor to worship you in the best of ways and to refrain from sinning and from disobeying you. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. And until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا ربي بالهادي النبي محمد الله هب لي شفاعته بيوم جزاء